Hello, in this video I will explain you about a linear system of equation. What is the meaning of a linear system of equation? Here the term linear is basically used for the power to the variable should be 1. Means first of all you see system of equation. Here is the example. Suppose I want to calculate 2x plus 3y is equal to 7 and 4x plus 9y is equal to 17. So this is a very easy type of equation. Here is the two equation. You have to solve the two variables. You can solve it very easily. Just multiplying these two and minus, you will get 3y is equal to 3, so y is equal to 1 and x is equal to 2. So 4 plus 3 7 and 8 plus 9 17. So this is a solution. X is equal to 2, y is equal to 1 for this system of equation. This is a system of equation, and linear means the power of the variable is 1. Here is the power of x is 1, y is 1, so you can solve it easily. But problem comes when the number of variable will be more. Suppose you have a 3 equation with 3 variables, then solving of the problem in this way is not very easy. So how can you solve that type of equation? Here is the example of the equations. Suppose here is the 3 equation for 3 variables. The 3 variables are x, y, z. The equation is this: a1x plus b1y plus c1z is equal to t1, a2x plus b2y plus c2z is equal to t2, and a3x plus b3y plus c3z is equal to t3. You can solve in a general way, but it will be quite a lengthy process. So to solve this type of equation, there is two easy way by which you can solve the x, y. So you can solve this type of a linear equation with 3 variables or more by using Cramer's rule. The first easy method is Cramer's rule. And the second is matrix inversion method. So Cramer's rule is for easy solution of x, y and z variables if the system of equation is like this. So first of all, you should remember to solve these equations by Cramer's rule. If you first put the equations in this format, i.e. all the variables are on left side, x, y, z are on left side, and constants are on right side, then it will be easy for you to solve this system of equations by Cramer's rule. So the aim of this rule is Cramer's rule is to find out the solution of x, y and z which can satisfy all these 3 equations. So you are required to get the values of x, y and z. So here is the system of equations. To solve the variables by Cramer's rule, you first need to find out the values of delta. And what is the delta? It is a determinant of coefficient of the variables. So the coefficient of variables x is a1, a2, a3 in 3 equations. So put it here, a1, a2, a3, and the second variable is coefficient of the second variable is b1, b2, b3. So put it here, b1, b2, b3. And for the variable z, the coefficients are c1, c3. So put it here. So put all the coefficient of the all variables in this format and find out the determinant values. So you'll this is if all the variables you know what is the values of a1, b2, you can easily calculate the determinant values of the delta. It will be a digit, it will be some digit, so delta you will get. The first step is to find out the values of delta. Now the second step is to find out the values of x. You can directly find out the values of x in this variable by finding out getting the values of this delta. In the delta, you just replace these variables a1, a2, a3 with constant d1, d2, d3. You take this d1, d2, d3 from this equation and replace a1, a2, a3 with that constant. So what will be the determinant here is d1, d2, d3, and keep the other two column as same. So p1, b2, b3, c1, c2, c3, and divided by delta. Delta you have got earlier. So to find out the values of x, you have to calculate the determinant value of this. What is the difference between this determinant and this determinant is, here I have replaced a1 into a3, means coefficient of x. X is here, so you have to replace the coefficient of x, a1 into a3, with constant d1, d2, d3. Constant is here. In this way, you can also calculate the values of y. So the values of y, how can you calculate the values of y? You just put y here. Y is equal to keep it same, your delta, and just replace b1, b2, b3. So the values of y is determinant of a1, a2, a3. Here is it should b1, b2, b3. I have replaced it with d1 constant, means d1, d2, d3 divided by delta. So the difference between delta and this determinant is only this column. Remaining two columns is same. So you will get the value. Similarly, you can also find out the value of z. So the z is equal to, you have to replace this column with a constant. So a1, a2, a3. So in the value of z, what you need to fill in this determinant is a1, a2, a3, and z is coefficient of z is 7, c2, c3. So you need to replace only this column. So you put it same as delta b1, b2, b3, and replace c1, c2, c3 with d1, d2, d3. So in this way, you will get the values of x, y, and z. What you need to do is, first you get the values of delta, coefficients, determinant value of the coefficient of the variables, and then just replace each column with the constant, means d1, d2, d3 for x, y, z. For x you replace first column, for y you replace second, and for z you replace third column, and divide it by delta for each variables, and you will get the value. This is quite easy, but the only problem with this procedure is that you have to calculate the determinant for each variable. So the only problem is you have to find out the determinant value, and you will get the values of x, y, and z. This is called the Cramer's rule. Here I will explain you how to find out the determinant. You know already, but I will just give you a brief idea how to find out the determinant values of this type matrix. So first of all, you take one element here, A, and delete this row and column. So what remains here is EFHI. It will be equal to A into EFHI, and it should be plus, means because number of row plus number of column is 2, minus 1 to the power 2 is plus 1, so it will be plus 1. Similarly for B, number of row is 1, number of columns 2, so 1 plus 2 is 3, so minus 1 to the power 3 is equal to minus 1, so it will be minus B. And for B, you remove the column and row in which B is there, what remains here is what remains here is DFHGI and for C, number of row is 1, number of column is 3, 1 plus 3 is 4, minus 1 to the power 4 is plus 1, so plus C. And what will be the determinant to calculate? For C, remove the column and row, and what remains here is, put it DEGH. So in this way you will get the values. What is the values of this EI minus FH? What is the value of this DI minus FG? What is the value of this DH minus EJ? So in this way you can calculate the determinant values.